Let your irrationalism shine. Groundhogs live in Africa and you can eat them.
I survived a demonic ritual.
You have to accept critical globe theory. I do hate flat earthers, so don't come near me. That's why I go outside and go.
Yeah, the sore throat.
It's the vaccine rage. Sort of like
roid rage, but for vaccines.
Hang out with us today. We're gonna do some legs, talk about some crazy stuff.
Let's get right to it. I'm like dehydrated pee today.
Yeah, I was like the opposite. It's like I had vitamin P all day yesterday.
What?
If you take like multivitamin, it's like super neon P.
I love Post Malone, but just stay in your lane, man.
Why did they do that song too? Like, did they do the national anthem? Do you remember?
I missed the beginning. I got there like at like the end of the second quarter. They did some black national anthem, and then I think they did the national anthem too. I think they did like 3 songs.
Do we have a separate nation in America that I don't know
There's
about?
a separate national anthem for the blacks. I think.
That doesn't make any sense.
Andra Day sings the black national anthem. The fuck was that? As a black person, I find this very divisive. All the comments are like, for people who talk about fighting against segregation a lot, they sure do a lot of segregating.
I thought Roosevelt desegregated the military. Do we now have a black troop again? And
Yeah.
Every great naval force, you know, has 2 captains on every ship. That's how you win every battle at sea. All right, guys, hopefully it's not crackling.
Are you filming? Oh, yeah.
I started it. All right, you guys, welcome to the Rest Day Podcast. Doing some legs as usual. I got my whitey tighties on.
Is Travis Kelce like straight up almost assaulted that elderly guy that's the coach of...
On his own team?
Yeah. I don't know, he was pissed and he like shouted in his face and basically like chest bumped him. But the guy is like, he's got to be pushing, you know, mid 70s. He's really old and fat. And like, the guy almost fell over.
What the heck?
Dude, like, why are you yelling at your own coach's face? Like, how vain are you? Like,
yeah, all the attention's got to him. It's the vaccine rage. Sort of like
roid rage, but for vaccines.
Wait, that makes so much more sense. I was just saying that as a joke, but now that I said vaccine rage, it is a thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of vaccine rage going on out there.
Well, he probably is also on steroids, so.
There's like a heavy dose of irrationality in it too. And when you take it, you then see everyone else as your potential grandma murderer. Sun is the best. The sun will kill a virus almost instantly. That's why I go outside and go.
Yeah, the sore throat. Like a turkey.
We're not medical professionals, you guys. We're just joking around before we get sued by someone.
Yeah,
just because we're BSing.
For medical advice, go to your woke doctor. Medical practitioner, professional.
Dude, it is so hard to become a doctor and not be woke these days.
My students are talking about all the papers they have to write, and he's like, yeah, I have to like turn on my woke brain whenever I'm gonna write a paper and like remember all the, you know, like the buzzwords and stuff. Yeah. He's like, I'm getting pretty good at it, but it is kind of exhausting. It didn't really used to be like that. Like when I was in school, like there wasn't as much of a focus on all that. Like every paper, you know, every class, it seems like they're like weaseling it in however they can. Even like conducting, like how?
Well, we were post-Enlightenment society, right? So you have rationalism that the subjects, and the world is the object. So that's the basics of the scientific method. Is the principle of induction. The world is the same yesterday as it is tomorrow. If I do an experiment halfway across the world with, you know, salt, water, and milk, you can do the same one over here. You can do it 100 years from now, and it can have consistent results. And even after sort of a post-religious society, and you kind of see that sort of thing not be as popular, we still held to the Enlightenment, right? And it's just kind of, people, quote unquote, would be like, I believe in the science. And what they're saying is, I still believe in scientific method, empiricism, objective truth, the ability to study. Anyways, long story short, even once we ditched religion for the most part, we're still, so like there's objective truth. But all the way dating back to 1800s, didn't really become popular until the 30s with the Frankfurt School and then sexual revolution. And it was just kind of up there in pop psychology and in some schools and universities, but it wasn't main spread. And we've seen since 2020, the cultural adoption of subjectivity, which is, it's literally called the irrationalist movement, and they're not afraid of saying that. Like, the people that are doing it say it themselves. And we no longer look at the object, the world, and can discover truths about it. Everything we see, Immanuel Kant, like, is it weights or are we just perceiving it? It's all, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but literally intellect, truth, culture, art, morality, ethics is in the eye of the beholder. And that became culturally mainstream in the 2020s. So when you're like, there's something wokish about that, or you don't know how to describe, that's the shift, is objective truth, scientific method, to now literally irrationality and personal feelings. That's why you say the words like affirm. If you say no one can be trans, it's only man or woman, you're denying their existence because they don't believe in, they're not from the Enlightenment rational perspective. They're from the irrational, postmodern, critical theory perspective, which literally means since they feel that way, that is literally truth. So if you say, no, you don't, you're literally denying their participation in the collective human and are killing them because that their self-expression is the only way to exist. That's why you see the weird language like that. And so if you don't know the language or don't know the perspective, it's confusing. You're like, I want to affirm people. I want to be nice to people. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't mean what they're saying.
I get that. You kind of have to pretend with them, You have to be...
But pretending is an oppressive word because you're assuming that there is objective truth.
Yeah.
Even you can't deny
you can't tell the little girl her tea party is fake.
And that's where critical theory comes, is if they're an oppressed class, their truth actually is more truth. And you, as someone who's able-bodied, white, more better off, you have to more so submit to their personal truth to balance this superhuman, what's wrong with the world to create utopia.
So when is that all gonna not be the thing anymore and we move on to the next thing that's cooler?
Well, when people are hurting more, more deaths, more sickness. I mean, you can't deny the scientific method or, objective truth too much. Everyone goes on a highway and it's like right is right, left is left, right? So you're driving on the right side of the road, right? But even mathematics are like, not a big deal. But literally down to the simple things like driving on the right, like directionally the right side of the road.
I can't.
You're
drive
making
on
a
the right
binary.
side of the road. That would make me a Republican.
You're making a binary.
I only drive on the left side of the road because I'm a leftist, liberal.
We'll see. I think philosophically, like I said, it's been around for a long time, but I think it's really only been culturally mainstreamed for a couple of years. And even they're not consistent.
I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, just come out and say that, just say you understand that it's not logical and just be like, can't we all just accept it's not logical, but okay, you're just going to do it anyway, so I guess be you, I'm be me.
You're right, but for them to explain it to you that way, they have to take your rationalist enlightenment side, right? Whereas if they're being consistent, it is just screaming and protest. Because why would they rationally describe to you why they're doing what they're doing? So in a way,
so rational.
In a way, they are being consistent.
They're very irrational with their methods, I guess. All you
practice what
round
you preach.
earthers are irrationalists.
I do hate flat earthers, so don't come near me. If there's one thing I could change about Ethan, it's that he believes in flat earth.
I'm a rationalist.
No, you have to accept critical globe theory. It makes sense to you. If I deny the flat earth, I'm swiping you off of the earth.
I survived a demonic ritual,
Super Bowl.
the Super Bowl, and now I'm hungover.
Speaking of demonic rituals, you want to come over tonight? No.
What are you doing?
No, I'm just kidding. Did you see that hedgehog Paul's neighbor killed?
In Africa?
Dude, yeah, my brother's in Africa. He's in Togo, but his neighbor shot and killed like a groundhog, and is gonna cook it, and they're gonna eat it for like a stew or something. Punxsutawney Phil just declared an early spring, so I think he didn't see his shadow.
Yeah, he didn't see the shadow.
It looked.
What's the guy's name?
Punxsutawney Phil.
I didn't know the groundhog had a name.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, it's Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, or wherever they're at.
Oh.
It's the town, and then it's Punxsutawney Phil.
Okay.
It looked exactly like Punxsutawney Phil, like the same animal. So I felt bad because like Groundhog Day just happened. It's just like this.
This is the big groundhog.
It's huge. Dude.
Oh gosh.
Hopefully they don't carry disease or anything.
I know. I'd be a little worried to eat that. When at the beginning, when Bilbo's giving his speech, and he's like thanking all the different Hobbit families, and he's like,
Yeah.
and thank you to the proud feet, and then they go, proud foot, and it just zooms in on this like, Hobbit with his feet, reclined, and it's just close up on the feet. Forget the Rings of Power. We need a spin-off show about this Hobbit solving crimes in Hobbiton.
And sometimes they need to do I feel like these shows of popular IPs should almost do, like you said, do way more of a vague spin-off.
Yeah.
That's why I kind of thought The Mandalorian was pretty cool and successful, is it didn't attempt to be super big in the center of that universe. It tried to pull off to the side a little bit.
There's barely any Jedi action in it, you know?
A Proudfoot Shire detective. That'd be a good show because you wouldn't be, offending hardcore fans if you did something too different because you're not affecting the main, universe.
It's just putting it in that world.
Yeah, and then having a good story.
Yeah.
I think that is what Rings of Power failed, is they took one of the biggest characters, a bunch of the big characters, and all of them, Sauron, the main bad guy, and they totally ruined Sauron and Galadriel and Elrond.
They ruined Galadriel.
Groundhogs live in Africa and you can eat them. Military strategy.
You gotta stop recapping everything. You cut this out at the end?
I don't know. I
You
can't
edit
remember.
it out and you just watch it for
It's the
yourself?
best part.
You recapping everything doesn't... It's so strange. It's so awkward.
No, you guys, everyone watching has already forgotten. Who can remember 15 minutes? Anyways, it's been great hanging out, you guys. We're gonna do some more legs. We're gonna let you go. We'll catch you next time. Like, subscribe, comment, share.
And ring the bell.
Yeah, peace. Let your irrationalism shine.
Peace.